Hi everybody, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me today. There in Australia, they had it was a small earthquake, a magnitude 3.0. I believe it was at 7:34 p.m. There in Australia, local time. 45 people reported it to USGS, and 45 people reported it to EMSC. One of the reports on EMSC said once again a rumble that shook the house with an air pressure aspect to it, like a subwoofer. Some pictures on the wall now need to be revealed. I don't know, straightened maybe, replaced, I don't know. Another one reportedly felt it there at Mount Barker. I had done some reports recently in this area. Yeah, it's been active lately. None of the news services there in Australia that I could find have been reporting it. In September of last year, 2021, September 21st, there was a magnitude 6.0. It was revised by USGS to a 5.8. Another interesting fact, as I was looking through the different Australian papers, websites online here about the earthquake, is the price that they're paying for gasoline there. They do have a high fuel excise tax there. Gas is sold by the liter there, not by the gallon like they do here in the U.S. I know it's a little bit off subject, but it's got to do with the global fuel prices going sky high. Here in the U.S., prices of gasoline were rising even before Russia invaded Ukraine. So that's not it, even though that's what mainstream media, the Biden administration is trying to say. So this article here says they're paying $2 a liter, which here in the U.S. would be about $7.60 a gallon. So I thought I would look up where most of Australia oil comes from. It says Australia's oil is produced on the northwest shelf, some distance from domestic East Coast refining capacity. In addition, domestically produced grades of crude oil are generally not suited for local refineries compared to other international oil sources. So here on Google Earth, it shows us where the northwest shelf is at. I did a report talking about the Paris Agreement, that whole thing for global climate change, and how part of the agreement that was signed by 197 countries was that no new exploration for oil or gas or coal was going to happen. That was signed in 2015. So it says here, Australia oil production has been in decline since 2009, as new reserve developments have failed to match the rate of depletion in existing fields. Australia is a net importer of oil and imports a large portion of its refinery restocks. Most of Australia oils is produced on the northwest shelf, some distance, etc., from the domestic East Coast refinery capacity. And it says only 12% of oil is actually imported to Australia. So anyways, yeah, that's what I found when I was looking into news reports about this 3.0 earthquake. Yeah, they're just pushing prices of fuel around the world because part of that Paris Agreement is they want us to go to solar or electric, wind, etc. for our energy needs, and they want us to stop using gas and oil and coal, etc. So here's the felt reports that was submitted to USGS. Victor Harbor, way down south, and then up north, Gawler. Mount Barker had an intensity level of 4, which means it was felt indoors by many, outdoors by a few. At night, some people might have been woken up, dishes, windows, and doors disturbed, autos rocked noticeably. Yeah, Mount Barker, There was a lot of reports from the last earthquake that they had close to there that I reported about. Gawler had an intensity level of 4 also. And what's this? Okay, Mount Barker. Let me go here. Mount Barker. Bridgewater, intensity level 3, which would mean it was felt indoors noticeably, but not always recognized as an earthquake. Standing autos would be rocking slightly, vibration like a passing truck. Now on EMSC, Mount Barker, said the whole house shook for about 20 to 30 seconds before gradually fading away. Another report from the same location said felt a very slight shake, kind of like a very loud thunder clap. House didn't shake much. Felt it through the floor more so, approximately 3 to 5 seconds. Collington, Australia said they could feel it through the floor, through their sneakers. Must have been a loud boom because this other report says I thought it was thunder, but there was a bit of creaking noise from the walls. Another report said it sounded like thunder, must have been a boom, but felt vibration. Slight rattle of the windows lasted about 3 seconds. Another one heard the rumble, windows rattling. Another one said there was a rumble. Yeah, everyone's reporting the booming noise. Loud bang, house creaked for a moment. Stirling, Australia said the windows rattled, chairs shook. Loud rumbling, dog freaked out. Went for about 8 seconds. I can't believe that the local media isn't reporting any of this. Summertown. Now, I believe that area had damage from one of the recent earthquakes. I could be wrong. Lasted longer than the last one at Mount Baker. Also felt rumble, probably about 5 minutes after windows rattled this time. Didn't last time. Yeah, it was September 22nd of last year when they had the earthquake there and a lot of damage in Melbourne. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago that I did the report. Yeah, interesting. So that would have been the 6.0. And over here is Melbourne on the top left corner. And then down over here is today's earthquake that happened. Maybe it was too late to put on the news. Maybe they had already their papers out and web pages printed up, and yeah, I don't know. I had noticed too when I went on the Australian government website that there had been a swarm of earthquakes. Let's see, where are they? Over here. Right down here. Some of these were reportedly felt. Now, the largest one they had was a magnitude 2.6. This was on March 26th, just 3 days ago. And you'll notice they follow along this river or watery system. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, a river. And as you know, most earthquake fault zones do follow along waterways. And this is a 2.5, also on the 26th. Yeah, a few people mentioned that they had felt these earthquakes. And the farthest one was up over here by mining 2.1. Oh, that was the 24th. And this one here was the 28th. This one was yesterday, a 2.2. Now, I am sure they've had earthquakes in this location before, but I haven't noticed them. So I thought that was interesting. Reports are still coming in to USGS. It's now up to 47 reports. So did you feel this earthquake? Are you earthquake prepared there? I hope so. If so, please put those comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for your support. I got another follower there on Patreon. I appreciate that. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.